He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. And Rafael is a world-renowned trainer.
I'm going to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. Do it.
No.
Yeah, he wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
If there is a combat sport analyst who has one of the best opinions on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, that person is Joe Rogan. We are talking about one of the most knowledgeable scholars in any combat sport. The UFC commentator has spoken with Mike Tyson multiple times and keeps a close friendship with him. Also, he has already praised Jake Paul for what he has accomplished in the sport of boxing. Let's go back to the things he has said about both fighters and who he thinks would win between the two of them. As a matter of fact, he has hinted on Jake's need to give up as early as now. It's important to note that Rogan has a certain bias because he is friends with Mike Tyson, but he still tries to remain objective. But of course, before we go any further, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this. Now let's get going.
When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson and Tyson smashing the mitts, like, Jesus, that guy can still fuck you up.
What if he eats your ear? Better safe than sorry.
I can't believe that was Nina's first question. What if he eats your ear?
Did you hear what Joe Rogan has to say about the Tyson-Paul showdown? He's really speaking his mind on this one. He's basically saying Jake Paul should back out of the fight with Tyson as soon as possible. Tyson's gearing up big time for this match, giving his followers sneak peeks into his intense training sessions. Remember what Joe Rogan said on his podcast 2 years back? He was talking about Tyson, saying age doesn't matter. Tyson's still a force to be reckoned with. With his trainer, Rafael Cordero, who's top-notch in MMA, Tyson's smashing through training like a beast. Even at 55, Tyson's got that raw power. And with all the advanced training methods they're using, like electrical muscle stimulation, Tyson's on another level. So if Jake Paul sees Tyson in action, he's gonna feel the heat for sure.
I don't give a if you think he's 55 years old. That guy will hurt you. If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson just bobbing and weaving, he's going to have a recognition. He's going to look over and go, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson.
So Joe Rogan has been giving Jake Paul props for his boxing skills for a while now. But it was after the Tommy Fury fight that he really earned Joe's respect. Joe's basically saying, forget about Jake being a YouTube guy. When he steps into the ring, he can really throw down. That fight against Tommy Fury, it was close. And Tommy's no pushover. Now let's talk about Tyson. Just seeing him getting ready for this fight is enough to give you chills. The guy's a legend, and even with his age, he's still a force to be reckoned with. When Tyson shows up, you can't help but pay attention. His presence alone commands respect. Then there's Patrick Beverley from the Milwaukee Bucks. He's seen Tyson's recent training clips, and he's not messing around with his words. He's basically saying, Jake Paul, you better think twice about stepping into the ring with Tyson. Facing Tyson is no joke. He even tweeted, man, y'all leave this man alone.
Day 4, it was okay. But you don't know that you got in store, baby. You got to face the God of War.
So who would win? It's a tough call, but one thing's for sure. It's gonna be intense. Paul George is also placing his bet on Mike Tyson for the win against Jake Paul. He's pretty confident about it too. George is like, age doesn't matter when you're facing a real boxer like Tyson. It doesn't matter if he's fighting someone younger or from a different background. Tyson's not afraid to take a hit, and that's what counts.
It don't matter. Mike ain't scared to get hit.
I think it matters if Mike goes out there and he's really trying to knock him out.
And he's not alone. Gilbert Arenas also thinks Tyson's got this in the bag. He's saying the only way Paul could win is if Tyson throws the fight on purpose. According to Arenas, just one solid punch from Tyson could be game over for Paul. He even suggested the fight might not be as spontaneous as it seems. So both George and Arenas are putting their money on Tyson. Looks like the odds are stacking up against Paul.
Fight I fought with Roy Jones was supposed to be with Bob Sapp.
Oh, really? Oh, no kidding.
Hell yeah. I wouldn't have to chase this guy all around.
UFC legend Henry Cejudo has teamed up with Amaru Usman for an exciting new podcast where they're spilling the beans on all things combat sports. In their latest episode, Cejudo hinted at the big bucks involved in the upcoming fight. He's like, I respect Uncle Mike, and you know what? I bet he's looking at a nice payday for this. Since the news dropped, everyone's been digging for info on how much each fighter could be pocketing from Netflix if this fight blows up. Cejudo even threw out a number saying Tyson could be looking at around $20 million, which is insane considering he's almost 58. Let's not forget Tyson's been a cash cow in the boxing world, pulling in over $100 million for some of his biggest fights.
I like it, Amaru. I don't like it, man.
I agree. I feel like I understand wanting to be famous, and I understand building yourself, and I understand wanting to be a boxer as well, and being a professional.
So, while both fighters are definitely cashing in big time, the actual numbers might not be as sky high as we're imagining. Still, it's going to be a showdown worth watching, no doubt about it. Amaru Usman, also, aka the Nigerian Nightmare, didn't mince words on his Pound for Pound podcast when he talked about Jake Paul facing off against Mike Tyson. He basically said, "Who's guiding this kid's career? Do you want to be a serious boxer or just a famous YouTuber dabbling in boxing?" Usman thinks Jake Paul has talent, sure, but he's questioning whether it's worth it for Paul to expect respect from real fighters like himself. Meanwhile, comedian Andrew Schulz had his say too. He thinks the Tyson-Paul fight could be bigger than any boxing match we've seen before. Schulz broke it down on The Brilliant Idiot Show, pointing out that the fight's going to be super easy to watch since it's on Netflix. That means anyone with a phone can tune in. And Netflix is making a big move by streaming live combat sports for the first time. Schulz believes this accessibility combined with the hype surrounding the fight could make it the most watched boxing event ever. And he's not alone in his excitement. Even Dewey Cooper couldn't help but get hyped up when he heard about the matchup. Seems like everyone's buzzing about these two words, Tyson versus Paul. Cooper spilled some insider knowledge about his interactions with both Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Back when he was coaching BJ Flores, who was working with Paul, Cooper found Paul to be surprisingly nice, despite what people might assume about him. On the other hand, Cooper has known Tyson since the 90s and has nothing but praise for him, calling him an incredible person who's been a positive force on their team. It's a tricky situation for Cooper since he's close to both fighters.
Those times, so I was in the gym with them a lot. By the way, real cool guy. Nothing like the people probably would think. I've been on Mike Tyson since the 90s. Mike's an awesome guy, an incredible guy. He's helped our team.
Cooper also pointed out that Tyson's age plays a big role in how he sees things. Sure, he still looks sharp on the pads, but will he commit to a proper training camp and take Jake Paul seriously? That's the million-dollar question. If Paul can motivate Tyson enough, Cooper thinks it could be a real challenge for Paul. But if Tyson doesn't take it seriously, Paul might have a shot at beating the legend. As for Cooper's preference, he'd rather see Paul take on younger boxers, maybe even have a rematch with Tommy Fury. But he understands the draw of a fight with Tyson. It's bound to be a massive event, and people are going to be hyped about it. Cooper recognizes that if there's a demand from the public and both fighters are game, then the fight should go on. He's curious to see how it'll play out and hopes both fighters stay safe, considering Tyson's age. But if the world wants it and they're willing, why not?
Growing up, who was your favorite boxer?
Mike Tyson.
Mike, right?
Yeah. Why'd you ask?
Because I'm going to be fighting him.
On the other hand, Joe Rogan's sticking to his guns. He's not letting Tyson's age cloud his judgment. Rogan isn't letting up on his praise for Tyson's modern training methods. He's highlighting the benefits of hormone replacement, vitamins, and cutting-edge recovery techniques like electrical muscle stimulation. According to Rogan, these advancements could take Tyson's physical abilities to the next level, especially considering how they were utilized in his preparation for the fight against Roy Jones Jr. Rogan's adamant that Tyson, despite being 57, is still a force to be reckoned with, capable of inflicting serious damage. Rogan's also predicting a moment of truth for Jake Paul when he faces Tyson's iconic fighting style. He's in awe of Tyson's enduring power and speed, even at his age. Rogan even speculates about Tyson's strategy in his fight with Roy Jones Jr., suggesting they may have agreed to avoid head punches, focusing instead on body shots and jabs. In Rogan's eyes, Tyson's presence in the ring is enough to make anyone, including Jake Paul, take notice.
I'm going to be fighting him.
No way.
In July.
Dude.
On Netflix.
Are you f***ing kidding me, Dad?
Yeah.
He's going to be the hardest hitting motherfucker you ever fought.
I know.
Dude, holy f***. I'm going to be freaking out.
As the highly anticipated clash between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson approaches, doubts linger about whether this showdown will actually happen. Critics are already voicing skepticism, questioning if the bout will ever come to fruition. Even Sean Porter has expressed doubts about the likelihood of the fight taking place on July 20th. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is ramping up the hype for the fight every day. For boxing fans, the thought of the match falling through would be a huge disappointment. Paul has addressed rumors about the fight's rules head-on, vehemently denying any misinformation and labeling those who believed it as idiots. While the official rules are still under wraps, Paul's fiery response suggests a more traditional fight is on the cards. His manager has also shut down rumors on Instagram, echoing Paul's stance. As the anticipation builds, the question remains: will the fight meet the enormous expectations or fall short? That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.